Thank you, dear audiences, the audiences of Hog Boys. This is Ahmed Sheikot. Today, I want to interview a former Navy captain of Bangladesh Navy. So, I will be asking him a very important 1946 up to 1971 related uh, spec. So, I will be asking from the very scratch from 1946. So, the first question I want to tell you that the Gen Z has come up with a revolution during the July in 2024, 2024, 24. So in this time, the Gen Z wants to know some of the very basic questions about our history because history has been seriously, mistaken. So let us talk about the road to partition, the dreams, deals, and dissonance in the mindset of the uh, people in our parts of the world. So, for the first time, let me ask you the Bengali Muslims cast nearly 98% of their votes for the Muslim League initially, right? And that was driven by resentment against Hindu Jamindars who were suppressing them for years. And there was autonomy for the Muslim state. Now, could you please tell us about this very issue from the various scratch about the rule of A.K. Fazlul Haq and other Muslim leaders and dissolution of 1940 uh, case? Please come up with this issue of the Muslim mindset since 1946.
Okay, thank you, Shaikot, for allowing me to talk in front of the Gen Z. And the things first I'd like to clear. I am a Navy captain. I was a Navy captain. Now I bear this identity, and also I was interested of the history. And most of the history I will be talking about is a people's history. This is the history in the books or other documents. Is the people's history, and history based on the fact, but depend on the perception. Uh, that's a factors we have to clear out, and history is not a started from any particular time, 1946 or in 1947 or in 1971. It's a harbinger of a series of the action. It is a culture, it is a philosophy, and it's also having the spirit inside of it. We always try to protect the history through the some of the narratives that suit us. But history without spirit, history without the soul and heart is really not at all history of the people. And unfortunately, in our narratives, peoples are missing. The people and the so-called elite establishment or the so-called intellectual shape our history at our wish or at our convenience. The first come to the point what we are talking about, how the partition of 1947 occurred. Initially the concept of separate Muslim identity was not there in any political arena. Till 1940, it was one of the casual Lahore resolution that of the Muslim League, that was not also the operating procedure and what are the geography of the Muslim League will be there, but that was not determined in fact. And also that what Shere Bangla proposed in Jinnah or Muslim League official website, official declaration did not match with that also. But the Muslims in the Indian subcontinent felt there is a separate identity and they need a separate culture too. And in that case, they took the Iqbal spirit or Iqbal poetic and philosophy in their mind. And that was the basic of the Muslims' identity. But Iqbal's Muslim nation was not a nation of the geography. It was a nation of the Ummah, which will be connected through the spirit. So that was the overall Muslims' legacy in that. Let me come back to the Bengal. Bengal always was dominated by the Hindu and Jamindars and the British official, mostly Hindu and some few Muslims also there. Hindus are in the advantages of the position because of their connection with the British. And Muslims are basically peasant and laborers, and they also receive the almighties, and they are not in that much favorable in the materialistic world in the Bengal. But what happened? The Jamindar started checking their, taking on their faith also, like you know the Karajima movement and all other
So almost
cases.
all the Jomindars were communist leaders.
Yeah,
Communist leaders.
no, community leaders were there, but the Jominians also basically they do not. I not take that they are the Hindus. Basically, they are the Jomindars, and they were disturbing and disrupting all the practicing religions, including, and the Muslims were the mostly affected because the Muslims practice is every day and 5 times a prayer, and also they are keeping beard, and also there was also another issue, that the issue with the cow slaughters. They have been, Muslims have not been allowed to do it, and whenever they and unfortunately Hindus never knew that Muslims are the majority in the total Bengal. Okay, and when the Muslims come for the after 1932, when they came for the election, and you see that all the way Chief Minister of the Bengal, Fazlur Haq, then Khaja Naziruddin and Suraddi, all are the Muslims and from the Muslim League, and they have to count that one. And again, it's just when the 1946 election comes, then Muslims of the Bengals voted for the Muslim League, and they have not voted for the
Later,
partition.
Muslims were betrayed by Ayub Khan because they were considered culturally Hindu.
No, I am talking about. I'll come to the candidates. Okay,
Right.
Let me come in the first about the Muslim mind. That they have not voted for the partition of the Bengal. They voted for the Bengal as a whole, and the Muslim was the majority. And suppose Muslim is supposed to form the government, and Suraddi was there as a Muslim leader. But after when the Muslims are there, then the Suraddi wanted the United Bengal. So they want he took the with Sharad Bosu, the Subhash Bose brothers and other Congress leaders, that let us be united and it is separate entity as a Bengali. Okay. So in 1946, to the Muslims and to the Bengali, except Hindu Mahasabha and few Congress leaders like Shama Prasad Das, Shama Prasad, and I must and others, those who are from BJP, Hindu Mahasabha, they are not in favor of the be with the Muslims. They are hard bent to be with the India, because if the Bengal is united, the Muslims will get the always majority. So they have and then they pursue the British to have a separate electorate for the Hindu and Muslim, and ultimately the Hindus legislature gave the favor of the partitioning of the Bengal, and the Muslims legislators all are giving the that we should have a united Bengal. Then, and in the combined result of all the legislators elected in 1946, the majority voting was in favor of the united Bengal. You see that how minority dictate your rule, but ultimately you know that Bengal was divided. And how Bengal was divided? That when there was a Shama Prasad queue with your Jawaharlal Nehru, and Sharad Bosu and Suraddi was proceeding towards the Delhi for the cabinet commission meeting, but they are not allowed, and their train was diverted at the Gujarat and Ahmedabad, and they are not the mustangs and hooligans, and they are not allowed, and the independence happened at the night, and Jinnah has to exceed whatever they have begun to as a Bengal. Bengal and Punjab was divided, and that's about the partition history. And I am talking about now being on the other side of the Muslims, the North Indian Muslims, headed by the Aligarh, and Muslim of the northwest, they have not considered us as a Muslim in the by culture. They thought that we
Right.
have been dominated by the Hindu culture, and in their Pakistan dream, the Bengal was not included. Their dream was with the Punjab, Baluchistan, northern frontier province, and the side of that.
Mhm.
And there is another dream also there, that there will be Delhi will be a combined capital of the both the country, and the Muslims and Hindu will have the different
Mhm.
territories. So that's all. I will not go for it. But
Right.
let us concentrate on the Bengal. East Bengal have been decided to come to hold of the Pakistan by the Jinnah, and initially Sohrawardi did not return. Fazlul Haq returned and Rajimuddin returned to the Bengal immediately after the
Mhm.
partition. And Fazlul Haq
Right.
were just hell-bound that he has told that the elitist, that the feudal system of the Pakistan is re-established. So he left the politics and started practicing in the High Court of Dhaka. And Najimuddin became the chief minister of East Bengal initially. And later, that's of the history. And then later Sohrawardi came in 1948 or so, I think.
So what would like to tell you about the partition's ethnic reordering after the Bihari's resettlement. So could you please come up with a systematic ethnic engineering? What happened after the Bihar riots? Hussein Sohrawardi and Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, they invited Urdu-speaking Bihari Muslims to settle in East Bengal, and that was very willingly, honestly speaking, for their safety. What did you say about this very ethnic engineering?
I'll first talk about the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Although he claimed in his book, Asamaptama Atmajibani, that he was a part of
Unfinished
this
memoir.
Bihari negotiation, but there is no neutral view of that. Actually, Sohrawardi was the man who have been working there with the Biharis in the
Mhm.
Kolkata also, and there was a slaughter, and there was a riot, which Sohrawardi was been blamed that he could not. He is engineered it because that, and later, and he was also trying to work with the South Bosu, that, but later he has been frustrated. Then he came back. Then the Biharis, there was a riot also Bihar in the 1946 also. Patna, and the minority Muslims was driven out to the Kolkata and other Muslim Bengal area. Then he told them that okay, we will accept you in the East Pakistan, come back. And they have been basically opting for the West Pakistan, but they are the basically skilled labor, and also some of them are the businessmen, that is a petty businessman like your shopkeeper, garage owners, and others. And Sohrawardi traveling in the East Bengal, you know that there is no one that much skill here. So he have been asking them to come back in the Bengal, and then also for the Muhajir, there is a central policy from the Pakistan. They have been given the properties, they have been given the business, they have been given the state patronage. So, and these are all the Urdu speaking Biharis. They came by in the Bengal, and basically they concentrated in Sohitpur, Ishordi, then your Mirpur, Mohammadpur, Ali Shahor, Khalishpur, Dolutpur. Okay,
They live
and
absolutely horrible life in these places that you have mentioned right now.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Then another thing is coming. Then another Mujahid group, the business tycoon of the Muslim business tycoon all over the India. They come back and they
Right.
came out with their investment, with their expertise. They were, and then there was no industry in Bangladesh. And this is Pakistan. There is only Renwick, and then there's a Keru, you know, these two.
Now,
And
okay,
otherwise,
thank you.
otherwise,
Let's move on to 1952 language turning point. So we will be asking that, Jinnah was the first person. He came up with some sort of this narrative that only Urdu and Urdu will be the state language of uh, whole Pakistan. But Bengali already became the mother tongue of majority of the uh, Pakistani. However, Rabindranath Tagore, his poetry Amar Sonar Bangla, it reclaimed the symbols of a distinct Bengali Muslim identity. Under Ayub Khan's rule, attempts to suppress Bengali in favor of a homogenized Pakistani culture also depend. And what would you like to say about those particular incidents with
Uh,
regards to 1952?
about the language, you know that in the North India, there was a clash between about the intellectual clash between the Urdu and Hindi in the mind of the elite Muslim and the elite Hindu, and also British part in Allahabad and also the Aligarh, British replaced the Urdu with the Hindu in the local language, and the Muslim have the bonding with the and the Muslim elite have a their family language was the Urdu. And suddenly Jinnah was not Urdu speaking people. Jinnah was a people of Gujarati, and he has a fluent in English. He's all like that. This was Urdu, and he was not also comfortable with Urdu. But
He was a
we have
bar at
a
law. He was a barrister, right?
yeah.
He
But
was,
we have our leader who speak very Urdu, and Soraddi is Urdu speaking people. Khazan Nazimuddin are the Urdu speaking people. Okay, and you know that in the West, the Punjabi was the majority language. The Bengali was the majority language in the whole West Pakistan. Then the Punjabi was the majority of the East Pakistan. And Punjab also having the Punjabis having the very good settlement, the military and the bureaucracy. Not in the politics that much, as the Bengali was the one dominating the political field, but the bureaucracy and Pakistan, in after division, Pakistan got the strongest military and a moderate bureaucracy, but a fragile political leader. There is no notable political leader except few Bengalis, and those are done. Their highest experience in the public office as a chief minister for a while. Soraddi before becoming a chief minister, he was a deputy mayor of the Kolkata. Not like Kolkata city corporation, it's a Kolkata municipality. So you understand that political office and government office there is a difference, and they lack experience. But this would do, and so the elite and establishment feel that as we have been independent, we have a one language. And there was a strong believer, except in the Bengal, there is strong believer that centralized, like Delhi, or there will be a centralized Pakistan. But Bengal was never been in favor of the centralized Pakistan. They want the autonomy, if not the independence, the major more or less autonomy. But and now you see that when the state languages come, and language is the carrier of their culture. So they think, and you know that Bengali Muslim and most of the peasant have no fascination for the Rabindranath earlier, before 1947. And 1948, when they have been coming out with this idea of that Urdu is the best only language, so they will, they have been just siding with picking at Rabindranath to show against our cultural independence, our cultural variety, and our cultural heritage. Okay, so
they're always trying to say their culture is superior to us.
Rabindranath became a vehicle or
Became a
the
symbol of
vehicle of our identity. Okay, and suddenly it is just like our emotional issue, not with any logic or not taking any speed. But
Right.
later in this was become one of the narrative, and it has been manufactured cultural identity. Without Rabindranath, there is no Bengali identity. So, and we are suffering for it. I think there is not that Bengali majority have, still Bangladeshi majority have no fascination for the major Rabindranath. They have their own variety of the song, own variety of the cultural taste, own variety of the food also. And I think,
But Gen Z doesn't know that Rabindranath opposed the foundation, all the foundations of Muslim Bengal, right? He has been
okay,
considered as a god of
you
the
see,
culture.
Shaikot,
Yeah.
this is a orchestrated what I said, the orchestrated cultural debate we are undertaking. It is unnecessary. Rabindranath was right in his belief. Rabindranath was a feudal lord. Rabindranath having the contribution in the Bengali literature. He was not a political leader. He never been holding any political post, and you do not beat him in the political arena. He doesn't dictate
I would say
your
that will be cultural
destiny of the
politics.
life. Eh?
He was not a political leader, but his poetry and all the narratives were considered for all kinds of suppressions and repressions from a group of
No,
community.
yeah, no. I will not worry. Um, he is worshiping his religion. He is narrating his religion. But rather he has some cover of the humanity which he may not have in his own mind, but he has a philosophy also. Like Iqbal, he has also have a philosophy. But what happened? The problem is that the Iqbal's ideal and philosophy was washed out by the Rabindranath prominence in Bangladesh. And
Okay,
you
in between
talked
the time,
about
I
this
want to
and
say Iqbal's book, like political reconstruction of political thoughts of Islam. Would you love to say to our Gen Z audience a little bit about it?
now I think I will not go back into that because that will be taken to that. I suggest the Gen Z, everything is available in the web. If I talk about my interpretation, you better read these books or
Right.
ask the summary of it. I think in English is available of this book, and you will be finding some
Right, because
narrative also. And
Allama
we'll have a
Iqbal's ideas were at the very core and the heart of the very idea of Pakistan as a state, right? And he came
okay.
up with this later on. Bengali were betrayed by the Pakistanis.
Okay. Now let me come why this division was in the mind of the Pakistani. Is there anyone? So I am asking the historian. Is there anyone after the death of the Qaeda Azam, I will say Muhammad al Jinnah, and also that another visionary Liaquat Ali Khan was assassinated, and there is still the mystery about that how he has been killed, why he has been killed. So, and these two there was anything, and so who was working for the unification of this Pakistan? No leader except Sohrawardi. And unfortunately, Sohrawardi was branded as pro-Bengali by the West Pakistani, and she and the Iskandar Mirza once you come in the whole, he has I think 6 to 7 prime minister to appoint and check, five to six, and out of that you see that it started with the Khaja Naziruddin, then it come to the your Muhammad Ali of Bogura, Hossein Shahid Sohrawardi, Chaudhry Muhammad Ali, and one of the very the first governor of East Pakistan is Firoz Khan Noon. Also, he is a Punjabi, but he was a very visionary one. See, this all the political figures who have been coming across. It was stigmatized by the Awab and the vision, but that in early Pakistan establishment. And you see that then when the Ayub Khan took power in 1957, I think 57 or 58, when Ayub Khan took power, he branded he have with under EBDO, EBDO, to electoral body disqualification order. He has Sohrawardi was banned, Khaja Nazimuddin was banned, then our leader Shere Bangla was banned, Maulana Hassani was banned, Nawazar Nasrullah was banned, and then your Chimantu Gandhi was banned not to hold the political office, and all others like the pillar like Atar Rahman Khan, Shahajir Rahman Khan, then Tomijuddin Ahmed, the Abul Mansur Ahmed. This second layer also was banned from the politics. Then Bhutto in the west and Sheikh Mujib in the east.
Thank you,
Came
sir.
back. There is a disturbance. Okay.
Okay, there was network issue, so I apologize to the audience over there. So
I was talking about the. I think you can record up to that Ebdo, the prominent politician, and the second the pillar politician who follow the leadership was been banned from the both the Pakistan. Okay, I think I talk about up to that. Now come to the then you have a young leadership come out under the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and in the east and then in the Bhutto in the west. But there
You're
is
talking about
no
the post 1971 situation, right?
no. I am talking about the 90 when the Ayub Khan took power 1957. Okay, 1957 when Ayub Khan took the power. I'm talking about how the political. There is no politician about that who hold the who as indicated Pakistan view of the integrated
Right.
Pakistan. Bhutto was busy with Ayub and then only the military. That is under the martial law who are the shown as the symbol of the unity of the Pakistan. Okay. Now I come back to the your our language movement. The language movement is a cultural movement. Later, it was been mishandled by the our provincial government under Nurul Amin, and there was a and then it was almost died because the government have not further proceed with that. They have a further issues with that. But 1952 again there was a issues. There was a students coming out with that, and then he opened fire. Then
Right.
the Khazan Nazimuddin then he was the prime minister, and then Nurul Amin was the then there was two Bengali area. Okay, and now the Nurul Amin on the other hand, the Muslim leaguers in and the Khaja Khairuddin, the elite of the movement, they consider themselves very elite. The people elite, they knows everything, though, and ultimately they have not even allowed Sohrawardi to enter in the Muslim League. The Bengal Muslim League and the Central Muslim League did not allow, and Muslim League people did not allow Sohrawardi to have this state because he failed to control the Kolkata riot, and he has been also considered as a pro-India. And Sohrawardi have no other option than to create a Muslim League. Okay.
Right.
Then also they once and then they came back with a political polarization with all other parties both in the both Pakistan. Sohrawardi was a very visionary leader. He convinced Shere Bangla that come back to the power politics, and he made him. He asked him to join the United Front, Yukta Front, and they won the election. And Shere Bangla was the chief minister here. But his Army League, Sohrawardi's Army League in the East, Bengal, was again was on the very first day was against the Sri Bangla, and ultimately Sri Bangla was sacked, and or he has been his ego has left it. Then come to the Abu Ahmed Sarkar as a prime minister, chief minister of the Bengal, but he was also from the Sri Bangla's party. Then they have this. There was a incident in the parliament. You know that the speaker of the sitting was killed, and and then there was a problem in the Lahore with the Qadiani, and it gives a very good reason for the Iskandar Mirza to sack Sohrawardi also. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so
Sir, we are running out of time. Let's move on
okay.
to 1971. The secularism issue became a very prominent aspect. After 2013, Shahbag movement here in Bangladesh, we saw different kind of dynamics, especially the rise of the secular fundamentalism, because people used to say the religious fundamentalism is the one which was manufactured in the media most of the time, and there was a stigmatization culture of a group of people in our country back in 2013 after 2024. That had been the case. So with regard to the historical movement from 1971 up to 2024, how will you say about the rise of the secular fundamentalism in Bangladesh back in 2013 as a movement? What did you say about it?
In first of all, in total 24 years of the Pakistan from the 1947 to 1971, there was not a single fundamentalist party in the both the Pakistan. Only the party was the Jamaat Islami. The party was based on the I will say
I
one
think it
word.
was a religiously motivated political party, but we cannot call it
Let
a
me
fundamentalist one.
let me talk about the Jamaat Islami standing. It is established in 1941 in the India, that great India, And Jamaat Islami is not a fundamentalist party. It is a theo-democratic party. It is a theology-based democratic party. So Jamaat Islami was in a legal political party in the Pakistan, and they have not. And there was one of the incident with the Jamaat Islami that against the Qadiani movement, and their involvement was there, and their leader was jailed for that also. But about breaching that fundamentalism in the Bengal, especially East Bengal, it was one of the absurd case, because most of the Bengali was not too much do not understand that too much political history. They understand their life and rituals is that based on the Islam or
Because
Hinduism.
they were not learning English, they were not
Yeah,
accepting
yeah,
the
yeah.
modernity that way, right?
They do not understand that what is secularism or that. They live with the Hindus, basically Hindu and Muslim. I brought up in a place where I have born and grown up. My father was a businessman, and there was a seven businessmen, and their establishment surrounding all the Hindu Marwari businessmen is there. Okay, the people working in the, you know, that whole of the Bangladesh sweeper and others, you know that it is from the Hindu, and they have been entering your home. In the 88% people, there was no problem with them in the Bengali. But what is the problem during the Pakistan with the Hindus? After the 1965 war, the Hindus in general, but basically the school teachers, they left Bengal, and they were basically Brahmin, and they have not been honored well by the young people. So they have been
Yes,
feeling.
of course, after 1947, after 1971, huge number of Hindus left Bangladesh, and this is absolutely
Yes,
true. They were fearful of the Pakistanis, but
yes, they
that
are
was
there.
actually based on
No, no,
Jamaat Islami and the other religiously
they are a
motivated.
state of confident. They feel comfortable that if they go to West Bengal, India, their future will be better because they are the minority. To say they want to get the majority stack. And another problem is that you know that all the communication center, all the big towns, big cities, all the industries are on the western side of that. Economic activities are the more on the eastern side. Schools are more in the western side. So we have to build it. And now there is a lot of challenges. These challenges are wide in during Pakistan. And beside, you see, the 1917 war, we have not a systematic um, way that we went for the liberation. Actually, the um, high nose of the West Pakistanis put us in that situation. They have been trying to, they have never considered us that Bengali Muslim is a Muslim. They consider that we are a low caste Hindu, or we are, and there was a, they want to, that like a long rule of the Ayub Khan. During the Ayub Khan, no doubt we have been economically prospered. They have done, Ayub Khan done a lot of things in this Pakistan, industry, roads, highway, school, college, a lot of establishment. There is economic investment, industrialization, job creation. But
Yeah,
one
and
thing
he used
was,
to say, "Do you want democracy or development? You either
yes.
choose democracy or
So,
development." This
so
is how
he
he
have,
actually
but
demonstrated.
he never could win our soul because he never bothered our soul. They thought that our stomach is filled, we will be happy, and that's what the major mistake Ayub Khan did, and most of the Pakistani did. And you see that there was people like Shahjad Yaqub Khan and Akhtar Hamid Khan, even in Firoz Khan Noon, they understand that our soul. These people need some dignity. These people need to be brothers of you. The Bengali, neither the Bengali Muslim, did not want it to be seated from the section from the Calcutta. We want our Calcutta with us, but we could not get it because of our Hindus. And now they are believing that
Yes,
we have been we have been separating them. Same way, Bengalis own the Pakistan, but we did that. But they are pushed us in that direction. The 25th March genocide have no other option than Bangladeshis to wage war and have independence. And they compel us to for doing that. Now, second point is that we are talking about the secularism. when the freedom, secularism was not even uttered in Bangladesh, in Pakistan, there is not a single word. There was a highest word was conceived Banglar Hindu, Banglar Muslim, Banglar Buddha, Banglar Christian. This word.
Mhm.
But the word secularism was never uttered by any prominent politician in the Pakistan prior 1971 and even
Right.
during the liberation era. And now, after the liberation era, we are busy with ourselves. Now there was a constitution and constitution secularism was inserted. But
Yeah.
secularism was inserted, but was it defined? If it is what is secularism means in our constitution. If it is a right for all the citizens equal, I think there is no difference with our belief in the Islam or the Hinduism or the our ritual practices in life. There is no problem with with the Bengali Muslim, with a part of the Hindustani Muslim and the Hindus in the Sanatan or the ISKCON, they have been there doing their business. We have been our rituals. We sit together. We have so we do not have any other issues like that. So I
Right.
think the one question is that our identity established after the two processes of 1947 and 1971 is a we are the Bangladeshi and is constituted of the Bengali Muslim and all other religious people stay in the boundary of Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cultural
And we have
diplomacy
our own
and
culture. See, this culture is not a Pakistani culture. This culture is not a
right.
culture that defined by the Kolkata or Bengali race. Each culture,
Right.
we have with our deviation, we have our variety, we have our diversity
Mhm.
in the Bangladeshi culture. Okay,
Right.
Chaikot?
And now let's move on to cultural diplomacy issue, because this is the time we're talking about the identity and cultural aspect of the history. So the Gen Z back in 2024, they came up with this revelation with their mindset of resentment within their mind, understanding that they have been suppressed for so many years. They didn't get the right to vote. They didn't get to speak out. What would you say that we have a greater reconciliation with the people, secular fundamentalists and so-called religious ones as well? We won't say there are fundamentalists in our country at all. We want a liberal and country of multi-level, multilateral understanding. We want each and every people to stay together. How can we actually build a country where each and every voices will be heard and respectfully taken into account?
Okay,
Please,
Chaikot, if someone go in his personal life or his family life want to have a very religious life, go with the religious instruction and go with the Swegot, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. Yes. Now, the very last question I want to pose you here is that uh, after 1971, we had been through so many controversial issues, right? Back in 19, what I said, 1971, people were very focused on the development and other issues. But back in 2024, people are focused on the cultural identity of the Gen Z, especially the internal issues about the Gen Z. They want to know about their rights. So what would you say to a country where we can build it with the respect, and we will have to listen to each and every voices in order that we can find a better Bangladesh, and we can integrate each and everyone under one platform? How will you actually implement a Bangladesh like
Yeah,
this one?
Srikot, in the country, you will not find everyone in the same platform, but there will be some principle to work out. Now, you cannot stigmatize anyone. You cannot put your value to others also. The values will be, there will be a minimum point the when the state will be bind together. That cannot be your like CUC. The people had in 1971 a portion of the people thought that taking help of the India is a detriment to our security.
Right.
So, but they have not joined in the freedom struggle. They have not taken part in the arms struggle. But they have a mind in the freedom. They have a mind in the independence, and they enjoyed the independence of Bangladesh. Even somebody was not convicted or was not engaged in the any crime or any crimes or any factors, who was not in favor of the Bangladesh making the two Pakistan, and also and then also uh, have fought against the freedom fighters. Okay, in a declared way. But he later changed his mind, or he or she, and accept as a Bangladeshi. Same way, same way, you can also have a many things in that. But first factor is that whether you are acting against our interest, our security, or our nationhood. The factors will be, and what is your present status of mind. Second point is that you have to accommodate, you have to give right of the every citizen, even he is a very minor with a voice. You cannot allow anybody with a just to defame any religion, defame any of the belief that majority of the people own it in the public sphere, but in private sphere you cannot interfere everybody's life. Like you have to obey a so and so leader. I may not like that leader. It is my freedom. It is my freedom of this world. Okay. I have been pursuing in a community. I have been pursuing in children. I may have my own way to think. May have a own way. Till it is not creating any law and order situation, till it is not creating any issues in the public, we have no right to stop anyone, gag anyone. So,
Yes.
what is a pluralism you want to mean? Pluralism is that respect to others' opinion. You need not to agree with that. You need not to be convinced with that. Let them speak out. But at the same time, whoever is speaking out, he cannot demean anyone. I have no right to make anybody defamed or anybody just he is not with my opinion. Then I will allow not talk about that. He is the interested element. Okay. And again, the factor is that choice of my attire. There is some sorts of the estimate going on about what the public attire will be. The public attires, what is the what fall under the social decency? This will be the public attire. So you cannot ask that everything I'll change and revolutionize everything. It's my wish. If somebody in the street of by your behavior or by your conduct feel that that it is obscene in majority voice or it is not acceptable in the social norm, you cannot be. It cannot be allowed. That's why the state is there. That's why the society is there. You have to
Right.
allow the decent conduct of the state, decent conduct of the social life, decent conduct of the family and others' life. The rules will be codified only to conduct, make the rules of the game, how the games will be, but how the game will be played, that is the absolute individual issue. I think I could make you my point clear. Thank you, Mr. Good.
Yes, yes, thank you so much. It was great. We have been taught history very much mistakenly, and during the last 16 years, Bangladesh history was totally upside down. Gen Z had a very wrong idea about 1971. Right now, we hope this narrative, this discussion should actually come forward and it should emerge to the people in a renewed vigor and structure. I hope we will have many more episodes like this in upcoming time. So let it be up to it today for now. And thank you so much for spending time with us. Goodbye for now. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank
Assalamualaikum.
you. Thank you, Srikat, for giving me a chance. And just for the information, this is the first any live recording I have been here. And although I have not coming out with any script or anything, just spontaneously whatever I talk about from my memory. I talk about my memory of my nation or my society, memory of family. I have been maybe something have been discussed in the tea stall also, and that is my value. You see the historical value. Our historian has to go back from their cozy room and drawing room or the discussion table, go back to the people with the elderly people and ask what has happened there. Thank you very much, and assalamu alaikum. May Allah bless us all.